Hi, I am Dr. Vishwakarma and this is my presentation on security certifications and compliance. I will cover the major industry certifications, key data protections, regulations, and then do a deeper dive into one certification, in particular ISO IEC 27001. So let's start with why this matters. Trust and accountability today depend on formal, verifiable frameworks. It's not enough for a company to just say it's secure. Three reasons this matters: organization handle huge amount of sensitive data that needs protecting. Certifications and regulations give me them a structured way to manage cyber risk instead of just reacting to problems, and they let organizations prove, not just claim, that they handling data responsibility. So there are four certifications worth knowing here. ISO IEC 27001. This is about building a full information security management system. Any organizations can pursue it to show strong security governance. So ISO 2. This applies mainly to SaaS and cloud companies, and it's often required just to win enterprises customers. ISO IEC 27017. This is a cloud specific add-on showing extra assurance beyond a general security standard. PCI DSS. This is required for any business that handles card payment. Without it, you risk fines or losing the ability to process payment at all. So now regulations. These are three laws for three different regions, all built around the same ideas: protecting personal data. GDPR from the EU protects personal data and applies to any company processing EU resident data anywhere in the world. CCPA from California gives customer control over how their personal information is sold or used. HIPAA in the US protect health information especially and applies to healthcare providers and their partners. Different regions, same core goals: protecting people's data and holding organizations accountability. Now let's go deeper into one certification: ISO IEC 27001. So I will walk through its scope, key requirements, how organizations get certified, the benefit, and a real world example. So scope. ISO 27001 is about building an information security management system, a set of policies and control covering not just IT system but physical asset and people too. It covers any data the organization consider important: customer records, financial data, intellectual property, and importantly, the organization itself defines what's included, documenting it in a formal scope statement. Then there are four main requirements. First, risk assessment, identifying and treating security risk, which everything else build on. Second, leadership and policy. Management has to commit with a formal security policy and clear rules. Third, Annex A control. Okay, 93 refers control covering things like access control, cryptography, and incident management. And fourth, audit and continuous improvement. Okay, regular reviews to keep the system effective over time. Then implement and compliance process. So getting certified happens in stages. First, preparation, a gap analysis and defining the scope, then a audit. Okay, and accredited body checks the documentation, then checks that controls are actually working practice, and finally ongoing maintenance, yearly check ins and full recertification every 3 years. And benefits: why bothers? Three main benefits: better internal governance and accountability, favor and less damaging security incident, and easier alignment with other regulations like GDPR. Plus, it's often a competitive advantages when bidding for enterprises contracts. And quick example, SaaS company handling customer data across countries gets ISO 27001 certified to support enterprises sales instead of filling out custom security questionnaire for every client. They point to one trusted standard, saving time and building trust faster, especially with European customer under GDPR. Then to close, certifications and regulations serve the same core goal: accountable, verifiable data protection. ISO 27001 show how certifications becomes real practices, not just a checkbox. And the right framework for any organization depends on its industry, its data, and what its customers and regulators expect. Okay, thank you for watching.